Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Polish jazz pianist Marek Latarnik Pędziwiatr. There's a new single out called Satanic Nas, and it represents a spiritual journey that he explains, and it's a trek about a new album that's coming out. He talks about his career. It's a fascinating interview. Enjoy. Hey, thanks for taking a minute out.
Thank you. Likewise.
I appreciate it. Let's get into your latest release, the Satanic Nas. And I want to know...
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about releasing material now with a pandemic going on and the way the world is right now.
So that's... releasing is a one thing that we can do right now.
Yeah.
And that's the way we're doing these days. We're releasing some short or longer materials. Yes, still we can, because I live in Poland, so we have different laws, restrictions here, and still right now we can play with 50% of people in the spot. Oh. So it's pretty better than half a year ago. We couldn't play anything.
Yeah.
And we're just recording lots of stuff. And and according to Jaubi, we had plans for a little tour in the UK around London Jazz Festival, and after that we planned to go to Poland to tour in Poland, and pandemic times came, and it's this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like probably in a year or so. Before these strange times, we recorded lots of material. Our first step was the most tricky one, because I went with Tendelonius and our managers to Lahore, Pakistan, and and that I can honestly say that was a trip of my life, and because it's like going on some other planet. It's totally different culture in so many ways, because I'm not saying about lifestyle only, but according to their approach to music, this is amazing, because it's a totally different ways of they have totally different ways on teaching music and performing, and it's a different mind state when you perform music, especially Indian classical music, because we played a lot of Indian classical music vibes, and then we came to fusion with our Western stuff, like and their classical Indian music is different than our classical music, because there is so much space for improvisation than you can imagine, and so many laws in this music, because we have scales. The musicians always talk about scales, and they learn them and perform around them, like they they explore musical scales, but in Pakistan they got ragas. It's a and if you compare like some musical scales with ragas, it's a totally different thing, because these are ragas are are a set of tones that you can that you play and you stick to them. However, ragas are sacred. You know, they if you play a wrong note inside raga, you're a sinner.
Wow.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, and we dealt with it, and and respected it, and that was an adventure, really, really, really. And and they took something from us, and we took lots and lots of stuff, like lots and lots of knowledge and spirituality from them. And we got together, set up in one place, and the magic started, because there was so many differences between us, and all of a sudden, when we started to play to their compositions, we performed one of mine compositions, and it was, and so we became as one, because right before we went there, I felt really strange, because because that was totally odd for me. As I realized that there are these ragas things and crazy Indian rhythms, and that was so exotic to me. And when it was happening, and what happened afterwards, it became natural for me to get into the world of Indian music, and listening to Indian music. I have no exotic connotations when I listen to Indian music right now. And my personal playing changed after that.
So talk to me about
cool.
how music and jazz and all of these elements became a part of your life.
Just music and jazz. Yes, I when I was very young, I was 6. I used to. My dad used to listen to Pink Floyd, and that was the first thing which made. That was my first true musical experience, and I felt that this music is worth something, and when I was 7, my cousin, I went to my cousin's house, and he told me that, Marek, now sit down. I'm gonna show you real rap. That's what he said, and he played, and he pressed play on his VCR, and it was Cypress Hill's video. The title was "Lick a Shot," and these words, he told me, I'm gonna play you real rap, and when this Cypress Hill video was in the background, I felt some mystic atmosphere around it, and it mesmerized me till now on. So my roots are hip hop, and then because hip hop is especially rap music from the 90s is is so rich with samples from some old music, like the whole heritage. I learned the whole heritage of American music, like jazz, soul, funk, and so on, from hip hop, because I started to dig samples. Dig through samples. I started to collect vinyls and I dealt with music production, like making beats, and before I learned to play piano. Before I started, because I was sampling, for example, some jazz pianists, like for example, Ahmad Jamal. The piano was always at my house. And I started to imitate these samples, especially piano samples, on my home piano. I improvised to these songs I learned from the recordings. I started my education. I went to some music workshops, and then without some formal education, I passed the tests to get to music university in Katowice. It's a famous jazz institute in Katowice, and I finished it. And what I learned one thing there on this jazz institute, because I had lessons with with a guy who was not nice for the students. Remember the film that film about the drummer of the famous movie Whiplash, So that was the kind of guy, that kind of teacher, and I was playing a solo over and over again, because he was still stopping me, and he was saying, Marek, I heard that before. What you play, everything you played, I heard that before. Play something I never heard before. And I played, and after 60 times, I started to. I thought to myself, why should I play something? Why should I pleasure him to play what he never experienced? I'm supposed to play something what I never experienced. And I switched into a baby mindset, that I felt like I never touched a piano before. And then I played this solo, and afterwards he said, I never heard such stuff before.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that was the strongest experience in this jazz institute. And then I finished, and right before I went to academy, I used to play. I had a jazz trio, and I was a working musician. It's still there. I'm still working as a musician, but I do what I like, and I think I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Because, the projects I'm in right now are like my dreams come true. So, according Jaubi, according EABS, according Borto, that's my kind of thing.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. So, when we do return to live music on a larger scale, what do you hope we all realize about the importance of music when we return?
Yeah, we will definitely appreciate more what we have, what we used to have. That's maybe not only us musicians, but the audience as well. I think we're gonna realize much stronger that the music is not just the addition to the reality. I think we're gonna realize that the music is an important thing for us, for our spiritual life. The music, however, we can say the music is all around. It's a cliche. We can go even somebody who is not listening to who says that music in general annoys him, and there are some people in this world, like they say that music is not my cup of tea, and I would say no. Even somebody who thinks that he don't like music, deal with it everywhere, because if you're not listening to the music, you're still listening to the music. Like if you like going to the forest, listening to the forest sounds, on the beach, listening to the waves. You can't get out of you can't get rid of the music, because it's all around. And I'm going. I think I'm going too far right now. But but I think we're gonna appreciate it more afterwards. After all this commotion, people are going to come to the concerts and enjoy it even more. Even maybe people will get, because as I'm observing, people are already frustrated, like watching music online. It was fun in the beginning. Right now, I think it's boring.
Yeah, I agree.
Music.
I think everybody's ready to get out and see live music.
Sure.
So, man, congratulations on the release. Good luck with the album. Good luck with getting back out to live music. This was wonderful to talk to you and get a good portal into the project and your history and music. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Poland, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Marek for his time, music, and story. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.